how do you follow up your first rated bogey-free round? That's what we find out in the second round of the second Open at the Trails presented by Joe and Rob Disc Golf. We are on a card that starts on hole 3, which is a par 3, just over around 230 feet. And throwing my P3X, I absolutely yank it. And, yeah, give the card something to laugh about there. It was, yeah, that was a damn type of moment. But now I'm just worried about scrambling to save par. Gonna throw my zone on a little line that I found. Does not get all the way to the basket, but is going to give me an open look. A longer putt here, I'd say 25 to 30 here, near the edge of the circle. It'll be right behind the basket, dead center. A really good putt to save par. And I knew in this round, going into it, that one thing that I wanted to do was try to keep the bogey-free tournament alive as long as possible. And I think that may have weighed on me mentally. But hole 3, throwing the same P3X, hole 4, throwing the same P3X that I threw last round, gets a slightly unlucky kick off that tree. I did leave it wider from the first round, so we do have an easier look at birdie. This, I did not practice my straddles at all, really, going into this tournament or in between the rounds, and that forces me to miss left. Just a bad putt there. That's just something I really got to work on. I'm not comfortable in a straddle putt right now. Hole 5, going to the same standstill forehand scepter play that I played last round. And I thought this was going to be perfect, but it gets a dead skip for some reason. And I'm really confused about that. I did not know why I got a dead skip. So we're left in circle 2. I'd say about 45 feet here. Gonna give it a bid, and it falls in low left. And that is our first birdie of the round. That's a way to get it started after those first 2 holes. All right, to hole 6 we go. It's still in the same position as it was in the first round, and I just want to keep up my confidence that I have with this S-Line P3X right here. Just want to throw a flat to slight hyzer shot that pushes all the way. Believe it really well here, and this ends up right behind the basket. We are tapping in for our second birdie in a row. I've been throwing that P3X really well in this tournament, showing a lot of confidence with it. To hole 7, I want to throw a similar shot as the first round, of course. Trying to throw my Luna, and I just completely grip lock it. It starts to turn, I wave it down, and it immediately falls down. We had a great laugh over how fast that fell down after I waved it down. But now we're left with a really long putt here, uphill. I don't know if I can reach this. It's going to be tough to. I leave it high, do get a little bit lucky, and we're going to have a tap in for the par right here. Not the worst. At least it did not go OB to the right. Now you get to see hole 8 a little bit better. It's a straight forehand that I'm trying to play with my tempo. I tried to go a little bit left. I thought this was going to be really good, and then it hits a tree limb on the left, and it just falls straight down. So we're left with an edge of circle putt here. There's OB to the right of the basket, and it's pretty fast behind the basket as well. And, yeah. Yeah. To me, there was absolutely nothing wrong with that putt, and it spat out. These baskets are older, so that's just something that can happen. Really unlucky there, but I know I can bounce back on hole 9. I'm switching to a Roman play here. Want to get less ground skip, and I just play for a little hyzer to push on a lot of hyzer. Just a little bit of a flip up, then it fades. Gets some nice ground play here. Gets a little bit left, but we are left exactly pin high of the basket and about 20-ish feet. A putt that is kind of a tester after what happened on that last hole. I hit low left, and of course that sticks. So able to bounce back after that spit out. To hole 10, I now know this is a par 4, so I'm playing it as a par 4. I have my Halo S-Blend Exodus in my hand. I'm trying to throw it up the right side, and I just leave it inside a little bit. It hits the tree that's in the middle left. If I could have got that Exodus out wide, maybe I could have got to the green. But now we're left with a jump putt that I'm going to try to play here. I leave it way too left. And I end up getting a little bit lucky here. I hit a log on the left that rolls me a little bit back towards the basket. So we're allowed to tap in for our birdie, which you want a birdie or worse on that hole is, well, anything worse than birdie on that hole does not feel good. to the island hole 11th here, throwing my same tempo as the first round. I thought I threw this really good, and it hits right beside the basket, and it gets a skip forward. It leaves me under this tree, and the limbs were in my way, and for some reason, I just completely pull the putt here. Got to try and make this comebacker, which was even longer than the original putt, after I just completely airballed, hit low right, a great way to save par and keep the bogey-free tournament alive. To hole 12, I just want to play my tempo a little bit more Anheuser than I did in the first round. That's exactly what I do. I thought this was going to be absolutely perfect. It still ends up short. You got a lot of ground play, but still ends up short. And stepping up to this putt, I remember being a lot more nervous than I normally am for a putt. There is some danger to the left. I leave it low left and hit the cage, and we're having a tap in a par on a hole where I should be able to convert on that. To hole 13, just goes straight and then a little bit to the right, still in the same position. So I'm going to throw my Luna on a little turnover here. Throw it low, gets into the ground, and because of how hard this ground is, and there's not a lot of grass right there, it gets a lot of forward ground play. So you see me talking to Bane there about one of his previous tournament rounds. I'm able to tap in the birdie to get to 5 down. Also, I had a great card this round. Chris, that you've seen before. Bane, you've seen before. So a great round altogether. But to hole 14, I do change to an Exodus here, going up the right gap now that I know where the basket is. I thought this was absolutely perfect. We hear a big thump. A big thump. I absolutely smoked a tree, I'm guessing, and it hit me all the way down, almost halfway down this hill. So I go from close to the basket to pitching up from way downtown. I could get no power from that stance. And now we get the par to stay at 5 down. To hole 15, I just want to throw essentially the exact same shot I threw the first round and just make the putt this time. But P3X, dead straight down the gap. And again, release point is on right now. It is on point right now. So we do get a little bit further, so we don't have to deal with the trees as much. But now, I don't know why, but I lost confidence in my putt earlier this round, and right now I'm really just trying to fix it. That's why I hit high right. I was focused on committing on no matter what, this was going to be over the cage. It was something really weird mentally. Right here, I'm talking about, I'm asking about the footing issue here, because I do want to go to a backhand MD1, and it does not work how I wanted it to. I probably still should have just thrown the distance driver flex forehand. We're able to pitch up on hole 16. I thought this had a chance, and it was just nowhere close. Way short. And we tap in our par, stay at 6 down. To hole 17, this longer forehand play that I do have to do here. I go to my straighter Emperor, and I do leave it a little bit too flat, in my opinion. It gets a massive skip, but it's a massive forward skip before it gets actually to the right. So we're actually deep in the basket, which honestly is not too bad for my forehand. But we're left a longer putt, 25 to 30 feet. I'd say around 25. Want to make sure I give this all the chance to get in. High right again. It falls straight down. Great catch. To 7 down we go. 3 holes away from a bogey-free tournament. To hole 18, all I want to do to make the adjustment is just throw the scepter a little bit more left. That's it. And that's exactly what I do. I end up on the right side of the green, really close to the basket, and we're able to have a really easy look at back-to-back birdies here. That's exactly what I get. Right now, to hole 1, I'm like, hey, I can get to 10 down with these last 2, which I should be able to get, or I can have a bogey-free tournament. So for hole 1, I just want to try to pull my teal P3X up that right side, and I still leave it left again. I assume right here that it was a lineup issue. I should have taken more time on the tee to line myself up. Zone up shot, and I leave it short. It hits the tree. I am like extremely frustrated with myself at this point, because now I left myself with a long putt. This is 40-45 feet here that I got to try to hit downhill putt does not have that much of a backstop, so I'm going to have a long putt to come back with. Take a lot of time here and just never give it a chance. Leave it left. I am just, wow. 2 holes out of a bogey-free tournament, and I throw it away like that because of some dumb mental mistakes and stuff that I could have easily fixed. Comebacker, we hit dead center. So that was a really good bogey right there, but still not a good bogey if you catch my drift. Hole 2, trying to throw my P3X. This, again, this just got a lot of work during this tournament. But just want to throw it and not hit any trees like into the first round. I thought this was good, and it somehow nicks a tree on the right, and it shoots straight left. So we're in kind of the stuff we were in the first round. Again, still safe, but it's still a really tough shot. I brought a Luna over here, thinking there could have been something, and, you know, I just pitched it up with a forehand, not thinking about it that much. I don't think an approach disc having an approach disc there could have fixed that. That was just a really tough shot. We're left with a long putt to try to save this par and not go bogey to finish this tournament. And again, I just leave it no chance. I'm extremely frustrated that I finished the tournament in that way. But still, it's not too bad of a round. 6 down's not that bad at trails. So this round rated 944, still not rating what I wanted it to. I think it's still 10 points low. But we finished 6th in this tournament. So see you in the next one.